Jamal texted me today. If you don't know, Jamal is my old coworker from the car wash job that I got fired from a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks, however long it was. He was trying to hook me up with the chicken wing demon I refer to as LaFonda on here. But yeah, that obviously didn't work out. But Jamal's pretty cool. He's a pretty outgoing, popular guy, and I don't know. I guess he feels sympathy for me or something. But, anyways, so he texted me today and he was saying he just found out why I got fired. And he gave me props for hooking up with the Indian girl. But I told him, we already broke up and everything. And I didn't really tell him all the details, but I did tell him that nothing actually happened between us physically. So I don't really deserve any props for that. But yeah. So he invited me to go out and hit up the bars with him next weekend. And he's acting like he wants to give me some tips and whatever and help me pick up chicks. But I don't really want to put myself through that. I already know exactly how that would go. Like, it's just not going to work for me. I can't just approach a woman at the bar and get something going like that. There's no way. I'm literally too high inhibition to even go up to the bartender to order a drink sometimes. I haven't been to a lot of bars in my life, but I have had at least a couple times where I literally was too anxious to go get a drink when I did want to get a drink, but I just, like, okay, so the thing about bars, for me, it's too unstructured, and I just don't feel comfortable with it. Like, for example, there's not really a line, so you're just supposed to walk up to the bar and try to get the bartender's attention. I don't like that. That is very anxiety inducing. And then it's like, once you do actually order a drink, are you supposed to tip? How much are you supposed to tip? And I also had a bad experience one time where the bartender asked me if I wanted to open a tab. And, I've heard of that concept before, opening a tab, but I don't really understand it. So I just stood there like, I think I eventually just said, I don't know what that is. And the bartender looked at me like I'm retarded or something, which, maybe he's right to think that, but it didn't feel good the way he looked at me. And then he was just like, okay. Like, if you've seen that Key and Peele sketch where the guy just keeps saying, okay, whenever the other guy says, like, he didn't like the new Iron Man movie or whatever, it was exactly like that. As if, again, maybe I am stupid for not really understanding what it means to open a tab. I mean, I think I do pretty much know what it means. I guess it's like you give them your credit card and then they hold on to it and they don't charge you until right before you leave. I think I understand that, but I don't really get what the purpose of that is, and I don't really know how it works exactly. And I don't want to let them hold on to my card because I might forget to get it back. So, I don't know. Yeah, I had that experience where the bartender acted like I was a moron and it didn't feel good. And that's just how I always feel if I'm in a bar. I've never enjoyed being at a bar. And yeah, just the idea of going to a bar, I'm getting anxiety just thinking about it. I just don't know what to do in that kind of setting. I feel very out of my element. It would probably be kind of like when I went to that party with Jamal, which that was all right, I guess. But it was really nerve-wracking for me, especially when after Jamal kind of left me to myself, and then I was just like, okay, like, what do I do now? And yeah, I just don't really want to do it. I already know I'm not going to be successfully picking up any chicks. And in fact, I might even have like a really bad experience of getting rejected to my face. Not even that might happen. That would happen for sure. And Jamal would probably be pressuring me to approach women because that's exactly what he said he wants to do. It's just not worth it. I don't think I would have a good time. I know a lot of y'all probably want me to do it because I keep getting comments from y'all telling me to hang out with Jamal again, but I'm not going to the bar with him. It's really not worth it. I already know I would not have a good time. And the past couple weeks or whatever have already not been too great for me. I'm not trying to add on to that by going out and humiliating myself in public. I'm not doing that. So I told him, thanks for the invite. I'm not really feeling up to it. And he said, that's cool. So he actually invited me to go over to his house in a couple days. And I guess he's going to get the new Call of Duty as soon as it comes out. I don't know. I didn't even know there's a new Call of Duty coming out. I mean, I guess I kind of assume. Like, they make a new one every year, right? So, yeah, makes sense. But yeah, basically, he invited me to come over and play games, specifically Call of Duty. I think the last Call of Duty I played was Black Ops, maybe, the first one. I did enjoy Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2 back in the day, but in general, I'm not really a big fan of first person shooters. I'm really bad at that kind of game. I'm not good at any video game, really, to be honest, but I'm really bad at first person shooters. I always have been. Single player is fun sometimes, like Half-Life, for example. That was really fun. Perfect Dark on Nintendo 64. That was really fun. And when I was a kid, I used to play Unreal Tournament. I used to play like Deathmatch or Capture the Flag with bots. That was a lot of fun. That's a really great game, by the way. If you don't know, Unreal Tournament Game of the Year edition, phenomenal. But anyways, yeah, anytime I try to play with other people online, it's not fun anymore because it's like, basically, I don't even get to play the damn game. I just get killed over and over again. So, yeah, I don't really like Call of Duty that much, but it'll be good to hang out with Jamal again. I mean, I guess now maybe I can say we're actually friends since we are going to hang out outside of work for the second time. And I think I should probably try to keep this friendship going. I mean, I don't expect to be hanging out with him regularly, but, I don't have any friends, and I haven't had any friends for a while. I mean, I could kind of say that I've never had a friend in my entire life. When I was a kid, there were times that I hung out with other kids in the neighborhood or whatever, but they weren't really my friends, and I really don't think any of them ever really even liked hanging out with me. So, yeah. But hanging out with Jamal in a couple days, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Should be at worst it'll be boring, I mean, I think it'll be good for me to do that. And I don't know if he knows anything about how LaFonda ripped me off the other day. I'm definitely going to ask him about it. I don't think they're actually like super close friends or anything. I don't really know completely like what their relationship is, like how they know each other. I think they've known each other since they were kids. I don't remember why I think that. That's just like the impression I get. But people in her social circle need to know the kind of shisty shit she gets up to, because that's really not cool. She needs to face some social ostracization or something. Like she needs to have some kind of consequence for her actions. I mean, maybe most people in her social circle wouldn't even care, but I'm pretty sure Jamal wouldn't be down with that. I don't think he'd be cool with that. So I'm going to tell him what she did, even though, it makes me look bad too, because it makes me look like an absolute retard. But I'm still going to tell him, because I mean, if nothing else, he should know what she's capable of, since he does do business dealings with her. And, if she's willing to scam a guy just for chicken wings and a Sprite, then I definitely wouldn't put it past her to try to rob Jamal somehow for whatever it is she usually buys from him. I think it's just wacky tobacco, but I don't know, could be crack. Wouldn't surprise me. Actually, it would surprise me if Jamal was dealing with something like that, but I don't know. Actually, you know what? It wouldn't really surprise me that much. But yeah, I'm going to tell Jamal about LaFonda and we'll see what he says. Oh, and another thing too. Jamal said that when he heard about how I got fired, that he told the owner of the car wash off for firing me. I don't know exactly what he said, but he just said he told him off. I don't know if Jamal even knows the full extent of what happened. Like, the guy assaulted me with the broomstick and everything. I don't know if Jamal knows all that or if he just knows that I got fired for dating the Indian girl. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense that Jamal would be pretty pissed about me being fired, because this is something I noticed when I was working there, but most of the people working there are like, I don't even know how this is possible, but most of the people there are really bad at their jobs. It's just washing cars. It shouldn't be that complicated. There is a bit more to it than how you would usually wash your own car in your driveway or whatever. Or there's more to it than what I would usually do, but it's still not really that complicated. But for some reason, it really was just me and Jamal, and there was one other guy that was pretty good, but for the most part, it was just me and Jamal that were the only ones that actually seemed to be able to remember how to do everything the way you're supposed to do it. Like, there was one guy, and he had been working there for a while before I even got there. I don't know how long he was there. I'm pretty sure he had been there for like a year at least. So the first step of the process was always we would spray off the entire car with a pressure washer. But the pressure washer had different settings. So you can rotate the nozzle to make it have more or less pressure, basically. But it does need to have a decent amount of pressure, because if you put it on the lower pressure settings, well, usually it wouldn't even matter, but sometimes there would be like mud and stuff caked up on the tires. And if you don't spray it off with enough pressure in the first step, then you have to do it again later. But this one guy would constantly turn the pressure down so low that it wasn't really doing much. And then we'd have to, basically we'd have to do the first step twice, which was really annoying. And it's just wasting everybody's time. And it didn't matter how many times you tell this guy to leave it on the higher pressure setting, he would always turn it back down and then not tell anybody about it. He would just turn it back to like a low pressure spray and then do that until someone told him to turn it back up. And that would happen like multiple times every day that this guy worked. I don't know if he was just trying to not get wet because of the water splashing back on him or something. I really don't know what his deal was, But yeah, just things like that. Most of the people that work there would do shit like that, or they just couldn't remember which chemicals you're supposed to use to clean different parts of the car, or they just completely forget to vacuum the back seats or something like that. Just very basic things like that. So, yeah, I can understand why Jamal probably was pissed off to find out that I got fired. Especially because the reason I got fired had nothing to do with the job itself. Because again, it's not a difficult job. It's not a difficult job at all. But for some reason, most of the workers there really seem to struggle with it. And also, if one person doesn't do a good job, then that might make the customer not tip as much if they notice something wasn't cleaned well. And all of us that would be there washing a car together, we all were supposed to share in the tips. So if one person didn't do a very good job, that could actually affect the amount of money that everybody else makes. So yeah, Jamal should be pissed that I got fired because now he's like the only guy there. There is one other guy that's pretty good, but it's not good for Jamal that I got fired. So I understand why he's pissed, aside from just, even if he hates my guts, he still would probably not want me to be fired. But yeah, either way, I think I'm going to go over to his house like the day after tomorrow, and we'll play Call of Duty, I guess. Probably have a couple brewskis, I think. I don't know if anyone else will be there. I don't really know his living situation. I'm guessing he probably has roommates since he works at the car wash. So there probably will be other people there, but it should be a good time. Jamal's pretty easy to hang out with because he doesn't really seem to care that I don't talk much. If anything, I think he probably likes that because he just wants to talk the whole time. Because when we were working together, that's pretty much how it was. He would talk the entire time nonstop, and I would really not say much at all, except when he asked me a question. So that's probably a good dynamic for me. Also, just because even if I did feel comfortable enough to just say whatever came to my mind, that would probably ruin our friendship because I am a weird guy. I have weird interests, and I've been terminally online for nearly my entire life, like since I was like 11 years old or something, whenever we first got the internet. And I'm guessing Jamal probably would not want to hang out anymore if I started telling him in thorough detail all about every member of Twice, or if I gave him an in-depth rundown on the history of drama between YTMND and E-Bombs World or something like that. These are the kind of things that I find interesting to talk about, but it's not the kind of thing that anybody would actually want to listen to, So yeah, it's probably for the best that I just don't talk much. I let Jamal do all the talking, and with that dynamic, I think we can actually get along and have a mutually beneficial friendship where, well, I mean, I don't know. I guess he benefits because he likes having someone to talk to, I guess. But yeah, either way, I'm glad that he texted me because even if we never hang out again, it is good to know that someone actually wants to be my friend. At my old job I worked at in the, my old professional, white collar professional job, I had that job for 4 years, I think. And I never made a single friend at that job in the entire time I was there. In fact, one of my coworkers there literally said in front of me that we aren't friends. I think I actually made a video about that whole story. It might be one of my Patreon videos. But basically, I was on a work trip with one of the salesmen at my company, and we were checking out at the hotel, and the girl at the desk said something to my coworker like, "Okay, you and your friend are all set." And for some reason, this guy felt the need to tell her, "We're not friends, we're just coworkers." And I was standing right there, like I was literally right beside him, and he knew I was standing right there, so he knew I could hear what he was saying. And it was weird because other than that one time, that guy was always pretty friendly with me. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was going on there, but he felt the need to say that, "Hey, I'm not friends with this guy." And the thing is, it didn't even matter because this was just like, he was just telling this to the hotel clerk in another country where he's obviously never going to see her again. It doesn't matter if she thinks that we're friends. Like, I don't know. I think he said it because he wanted me to hear it. That's the only explanation that makes any sense. But, whatever. That was a long time ago. I don't care. I'm just saying this to say that, I've had other jobs before, and I've never made a friend at any job I ever had until this car wash job. Maybe what it is, maybe I just fit in better with the type of person that works at a car wash. Or maybe Jamal is just an extra nice guy. I don't really know. But yeah, it's cool to think that I actually kind of have a friend. So I'll definitely update y'all on how it goes. I don't really expect anything interesting to happen. I am curious to see how he reacts when I tell him what LaFonda did, how she ripped me off for chicken wings and a Sprite. So that should be interesting to see what he has to say about that. But yeah, I think that's all I got for today. Thank you for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy listening to this, and I'll see you in the next one.